Hey, got a good video for you today. It's all about Brimfield. Everything you need to know, whether you're...
I set up at my first show when I was 14, selling baseball cards. I've owned an antique mall, sold online, set up at the cheapest flea markets, and some of the more expensive indoor walled antique shows. My name is Matt Gregg, and this is the life of a modern antiques dealer.
Okay, first, Brimfield. What is it? Yeah, it's a whole town full of antiques and vintage goods. It started in 1959 as a flea market. One field, it's grown. It's basically the whole town. It's not a real big town, but you go down one end of the town all the way down to the other, and it's fields on both sides full of vendors and vintage merch and cool stuff. Brimfield has it all. It's got everything. Real antiques, period antiques, early antiques, late antiques. Why am I just saying the words antiques over and over again? I don't know, because I didn't script this out beforehand. But seriously, period stuff, continental stuff, Americana, it's got it all. Later stuff, of course, Victorian, got that there. Earlier colonial, yeah, you'll see some of that. Early glass, I bought and sold that there. It's got everything. Primitives, a lot of country kind of decor. Yeah, you want something a little formal, that's there as well. You want mid-century modern, of course that's there. You want Art Deco, loads of Art Deco. Vintage clothing, yeah, we got that too. Brimfield's got it all, man. It's got it all. I'm telling you, a little bit of everything. Yeah, you can find it there. Modern art, mid-century modern, a little bit of everything, definitely. There's actually 17 different fields. So that means 17 different promoters. It means 17 different opening times. Not 17 different, but there's a bunch of different opening times. So you really gotta check out this website for all the up-to-date information on the times. But basically 6 a.m. Tuesday morning, a bunch of the fields open. Those are typically the week-long fields. That means those vendors will be in those same spot for all week. Dealer's Choice opens 11 in the morning, Tuesday morning. Dealer's Choice is a one-day field. There used to be a field across the street from it. The website doesn't have it listed, but I guess it's still going on. Wednesday morning, a field opens at 6 in the morning, another one at 9 in the morning. Hertan's opens at noon. Thursday morning has another opening for Mays. Friday morning, it's Auction Acres, the original show. So yeah, 17 different fields. That's a lot of ground to cover. Impossible to do in one day. Particularly impossible because not every field's open the same day. Like I said, the Tuesday show, the first official show that opens with admission, Dealer's Choice on Tuesday, that's over by the afternoon. Those dealers pack up. Some go home. Some might relocate to a different spot in town. Some stay to buy. When I used to set up there, I would stay to buy. But yeah, that show is over. So if you want to see that show, you got to be there Tuesday. But then other shows don't open until Wednesday. Other shows open Thursday. Other shows open Friday. It's really tough to see it all. Impossible to see it all unless you stay every day. But that brings me to the next point. Those shows that have those special openings, they do have admission. Most of the other shows are free, and the shows with special admission are generally only admission for that first day or even the first couple hours, and then they become free. So there's a lot of stuff to see if you don't want to pay admission. That brings me to the second point, parking. Man, you're driving to town, you're probably coming from historic Sturbridge, depending upon most directions. You usually come from historic Sturbridge, and so you're driving to town, you see some cheap parking on the edge of town. It might be tempting, but that's a lot of walking, especially if you need to make multiple trips back and forth. I would pay the extra to be in town. It costs, I think, generally $10 still to park right in the middle of town. I'd pay the $10 and not get suckered into that $5 temptation on the edge of town, because it's a lot of walking. If you buy much, you're gonna make multiple trips. If you have drinks or something in the car, that's gonna be a long trip, walk back to get a drink, and then so you're just gonna start buying drinks. Park in town, that's advice number one. Advice number two, you gotta get there early to get good parking. Yeah, you might want to try to get there early to get the good parking. Advice number three though, no matter where you park, it's still a lot of walking. And depending upon what fields you go to, you want to park relatively close to those fields. So for instance, when I used to set up on a Tuesday show, or even the years I didn't set up, if I went up, I would probably park on that end of the town because I was going to be covering the Tuesday show, the two Tuesday shows that open on Tuesday, and most of my action would be down there, so I'd park on that end of town. Middle of the week, Hearts opening in the middle of the field, New England Motel, that's more in the middle of the town, and so you might want to park closer to the middle of town. The Thursday shows open on the other edge of town, so you might want to park down there. So yeah, get a map, check it out, try to figure out where you want to park based on what field you're going to go to, where you think you're going to spend the most, how many trips to the car. Tip number 3, I guess. Wear comfortable clothes. It's a lot of walking. Now, be prepared for a lot of weather. Tip number 4, be prepared for a lot of weather. Yeah, if you're coming from far away, and I don't know, you can see the forecast, but yeah, you're going up for the spring Brimfield, it can be cold, it can be muddy, it could be rainy, it could snow, it could be unseasonably warm. Summer, September is often unseasonably warm, but yeah, mud can be an issue. Even if it's been dry all week and you're gonna get there early, some of those fields, they're grassy. So if you're getting there early, even if it's been a dry week, there could be a lot of dew. So you're either gonna wanna wear shoes that can handle that dew, that wet grass, or bring a second pair to change into. Which again, if you're bringing shoes to change into, you're gonna wanna have a car close by. And if you wanna dress in layers, because it's gonna be a lot colder in the morning than it is in the afternoon, again, you wanna have a car close by to drop stuff off. Tip number 5. Bring cash. Yeah, bring lots of cash. Bring as much cash as you got. Seriously. I take a check. I can even take a credit card. Most dealers don't do credit cards. A lot don't do checks, or they only do checks with people they know. I buy a lot of checks up there, but generally I buy a lot from people I know. So yeah, bring lots of cash. Cash is king. Cash is king. Bring lots of cash. Oh, we love the cash. Seriously. We can spend it right there on the show. Best prices always involve cash. It's also easier. Some people aren't that trusting. And some of you buyers look a little unscrupulous. Can't take a check from you. Yeah, and a lot of dealers, they're kind of living off the grid basically. They don't do credit cards. Tip number 6, buy it when you see it. Seriously? You want to crisscross this busy ass street? You want to go all the way back down? Buy it when you see it. A, and that's a 1. A, it's going to be gone. 2, B, you won't be able to find it anyway. Who knows where that dealer is? That's over in that one field you ordered this morning, or was it the first row, the second row, the 5th row back? Who knows? Did you go here and turn here and go there? I don't know. You'll never find them again. B, when you do find them again, it's sold. Did I do B twice? And I did A. Doesn't make any sense. I'm switching back and forth, but yeah, buy it when you see it. It's a lot easier. It's gonna be gone. It might not be gone. You might not be able to find it. Just buy it when you see it. If you like it, just buy it. Tip number 7, it's PortaPotties. It's a lot of PortaPotties. Some of them even have attendants. You should tip them. Seriously, it seems weird. I know, like you're not in a fancy club. What's the attendant doing over there? But they do help keep it nice, because I've been to the ones that don't have attendants and they get rough. They get very rough. So yeah, tip them. I don't know. Bring some quarters, bring some dollars, tip the people. Hey, you wanna buy something big? You can do it. You don't have to carry it though. There's porters everywhere. Seriously, young guys walking around, young women walking around. They got carts, they got hand trucks. They are ready to roll. They are ready to carry your item the 8 blocks back to your car. Yeah, they work for cash, but they work. My friends use them. I try not to buy anything big. I'm that stupid guy walking all the way down. Don't be like me. Just get the porters. Next tip, dogs. Should you bring them? It's tempting. Dogs are fun. We all love our dogs, but man, it gets hot. It's a lot of walking. It's very crowded. So if your dog doesn't have good temperament around people, I wouldn't bring it. If your dog doesn't like the heat, I wouldn't bring it. If your dog doesn't like walking a lot, I wouldn't bring it. Yeah. Some dealers have dogs, but we're pretty stationary. We're set up and we're just chilling all day in our booth. Our dog can chill with us. That's a little bit different than all the walking they gotta do. So yeah, think twice about a dog. Can't handle the walking? That's okay. There's people renting scooters. Yeah, you can rent a scooter, drive all around. Again, pay the porters to haul the stuff back. It's doable. It's bumpy. There's a lot of uneven ground, but there are scooters you can rent if you need them. Next tip, food. Man, every field has a food vendor, just about every field. Any of the fields with admission, they all have food vendors as far as I know. There's also a food court, center town, a lot of good options. There's a secondary food court that's sort of open up across the street. Across the street is also sort of the famous, couple famous sandwich shops, soft serve ice cream, a lot of good stuff. Yes, all kinds of cool food in that food court. Pizza truck. They usually have like a pit beef kind of guy. That sandwiches are pretty good. Sometimes like a taco burrito bowl, burgers, French fries, and a lot of good food. Across the street, famous sandwich place. They got the Pilgrim. People love that. They're always talking about the Pilgrim, so it's across from the food court. You might want to check that out. At least look at it so you know what everyone's talking about online. I always end up eating soft serve ice cream every show. I don't even eat soft serve ice cream that much, but man, when it's hot at Brimfield, nothing beats soft serve ice cream. Yeah, you won't go without food. You can pack some snacks, save some money, definitely. But yeah, there's plenty of food to be had. Check out that food court center town. There's a lobster guy. Yeah, lobsters. Who knew at Brimfield you can eat a lobster? My friend Steve still makes fun of me for seeing me eat a lobster once. But hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Brings me to the final tip. Dealers. Dealing with the dealers. Yeah, dealers are weird. Trust me, I'm one of them. We're weird. Why else would we do this? We do this for a living. Some of us do it part-time for fun, which is even weirder. But yeah, we don't really fit into the whole 9-to-5 system. That's why we're out here hauling junk around, selling at 6 in the morning. Yeah, dealers are weird. We're a weird bunch. We're weird people. Why do we do this? Because we're weird. So sometimes we're weird in public too. So I apologize in advance for their weirdness. Weird. Definitely weird. Sorry in advance. Dealers are grouchy. Yeah, we woke up grouchy. We went to bed grouchy. We're just grouchy. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can spend money with the friendly ones. I try to be friendly, but sometimes I woke up grouchy. I don't know. Apologize in advance. Hopefully they've showered. I don't know. I'm sleeping in a van. Did I shower? Yeah, I showered. I shower every day at Brimfield. But some don't. It's alright. Sometimes we're grouchy. Sometimes we're having a bad show. Sometimes the rain has ruined hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of merch. Sometimes we're not selling anything and we paid a lot of money to be up here, or we were counting on this for our next rent check or our next mortgage payment. So yeah, we can be a little grouchy. I apologize, that happens. Don't take it personal, you know? Also, you know, we all want to win the negotiation. You want to win as a buyer, we want to win as a seller. It's not possible. One of us is losing, both of us are losing, both of us are winning. There's a lot of different outcomes. You know, a friendly smile goes a long way, let me tell you. Dealers are sleeping in their vans. Sometimes they wake up grouchy. Their back hurts. It was hot last night. It was cold last night. The neighbor was making all kinds of noise. Who knows? Just don't take it personally. Some dealers are just assholes too. Don't take that personally either. As an aside, you know, you see your friend, you're getting tired, you want to slow down and chat. Don't do it in front of a dealer's booth. Don't block their booth. They're there to make money. You know, it's tricky. Hey, they got those comfortable seats. Let's sit down. Ask first. Some chairs aren't really that sturdy. Some are a lot of money, and it's sure as hell. It's hard for us to sell it while someone else is sitting in it. So yeah, try not to block a dealer's booth when you're resting. I know it's tempting just to stop and stand in the shade or whatever, but yeah, you know, it's just not cool. Hey, you want to buy something? Here's a tip. You can generally leave it in the dealer's booth. I mean, obviously ask first. But if you're going to drive into that field later to pick up all your purchases at once, yeah, you can leave it in the booth. Just make sure you get their phone number and make sure you give them theirs, because every time I was in dealer's choice, me or my buddy, one of us would sell something to a person. They would say, hey, I'm picking it up later. We'd be packing up, getting ready to go. They haven't come back yet. We want to walk around the rest of the town. The show's kind of petered out for us. So we'd just leave it next to our van. I don't know. Yeah, you know, but like I said, if we have your phone number, just give you a call and say, hey, when you coming back and pick this up? But yeah, that's a tip. You can definitely leave it in the dealer's booth and go back later. Just try to remember where you went, which is why you need to get their phone number. Finally, Brimfield, man, it's 3 times a year, right? Every show sort of has a different vibe. I know a lot of people love the spring show. It's personally, I've always bought best at the spring show and sold best at the spring show. Crowds seem to be bigger. More buyers, more sellers, more merch. The idea seems to be that dealers have been storing up all their merch all winter, and now here it is, the spring show, and they're selling. And that's probably true for some, but personally, I used to do 20 shows a year, and I only set up at Brimfield once or twice a year. That's still 18 shows I'm doing outside of Brimfield. So it wasn't necessarily true for me, but that can definitely be a case. Summer tends to be far less buyers, far less dealers, but a lot of the dealers do well because it's less competition. For a lot of buyers, it's the only time they can go. Kids are off of school. Hey, let's go to Brimfield. That's when I went as a kid. We went there in the middle of summer. The idea is that the fall show is, hey, dealers are end of the season. Dealers are cutting their losses. Good deals to go around. That's probably also true. But it's probably also true that most of what I sell at the fall show I bought between this show and the last show. Or it's something that I've had for a while that I decided, man, I'm punting hard on this. But it's not because it's the end of the season for me now. I usually have 2 or 3 shows after that. 4 shows after that. But yeah, that's the general conception. Spring shows the newest stuff, fall show, they're punting on the stuff, but good buys every show. I can tell you that seriously. Doesn't matter what time you get there, there's still good buys to be left. I went home with good buys unsold last year. Yeah, you're thinking I'm crazy. No, but then I list the stuff on eBay for 20-30% more and it sells. Good buys were left. I bought something last year. I was in Hurt Dan's. Show opens Wednesday at noon. I bought something Friday at like 5 p.m. when I'm packing up. I made pretty good money on it. I made really good money on it, actually. That thing sat there for 3 days before I bought it. So yeah, there's good deals in every field. There's good deals left in every field. Finally, the difference between the paid fields and the free fields. I've heard arguments both ways. Personally, I can tell you I like the paid fields better. My friend John and I, we went up a couple times and just shopped. We hit the 1 year we hit every field at least once, some of them twice. And I can tell you, 95% of what I bought was in the paid fields. But other people, it's the exact opposite. They don't buy anything in the paid fields. They think the paid fields are too expensive or they don't want to pay to get in. I don't know what to tell you. I would check out the paid fields if I were you. I would check out the free fields if I were you. Brimfield's my favorite time of year. You never know what you're gonna find. I get to see some old friends I haven't seen before. I get to make new friends. I mean, sort of. I talk to people, I guess. But yeah, I'll be filming my booth. You can come by, say hi. I'll put you on camera. Hey, feel free to film in my booth. But some booths, you might want to ask first. Again, dealers get a little weird, a little grouchy sometimes. So yeah, they might not like you filming. But hey, feel free to film in my booth. Feel free to take photos. Feel free to tag me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. But yeah, that's some of my tips for a buyer. If you're a first-time buyer, second-time buyer, long-time buyer, I don't know. That's my tips. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Please give a like or subscribe. I'm putting out this content. I'd love to have you subscribe to see my next video and follow my antiques journey. But the next part, I'm going to talk about some tips for dealers.